Okay. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next edition of our Zoom calls with Aradhna Tiwari. And it is a very interesting topic, which we have me and my distractor implants. And all of us have these hidden shame, grief, anger, so much hidden inside of us. And here we have Aradhna to pull them all out of us in 3 days. And what fun can we have with them? What joy can we be with our anger or with our pain? And can we just frack all of this and have fun? And Aradhna, over
Yeah.
to you to frack all the insanities of all the distractor implants for us.
Yay! Awesome. Thank you, Shani. Thank you. And recording should have to be started. Okay. Starting the recording. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being with me for all through and kind of making me miss a month. But thank you for all your prayers, for the kindness you all be towards me, and you just show up the day I message you. Thank you for being here. And Distractor is an amazing topic because we had something else, but Shani said it's new time, new phase, we changed the topic. So yes, here we are, and I would, as we were just talking, that I would love to see everybody's faces now. Whosoever is not showing up, kindly please show up their faces because it's not fun for me to talk. And you miss out on a lot of my my OCD, my ADHD, my autism capacities, which I kind of keep working when I'm doing these calls. So if you really want to really benefit from it, your choice. I will not throw you out, but yes, I would love to see your faces. So that's just a request. Thank you. And I would be using a access clearing statement, right and wrong, good and bad, pot, pock, online, short, boys and beyond. It's a magic wand that I use and we all use around the world to dissipate and clear all our mugs, and then we can restart. Like we always said, I wish I could restart my life. So this statement helps you doing that. And if you want to have more information around it, you can go to theclearingstatement.com, where it is explained by Dr. Dane here. And otherwise, you can just keep saying whatever Aradhna said, or pod and pock, or access clearing statement. It works. Awesome. So yes. So what does distraction means? What does distractor implants means to you guys? Anybody have an idea? Anybody who doesn't know what distractor implants is? Anybody here? Everybody
I
knows. Hmm?
हाँ
And
और
you
आप
said,
टोटल फुल डिस्ट्रैक्टर इम्प्लांट.
I don't listen to people who don't show their faces.
अच्छा ये ले बाबा.
So what is
I
it that?
totally today it was totally distracted. I was so much, there was so much of anger around me, and it was not mine.
I love that. How aware is she? And then she wants to hold it because she has to talk
Ask
to
me.
Aradhna.
I was at the end of it. She was angry with her staff, and it was pouring out. Today we named her the torture queen.
Awesome. So what capacity was she being that you were not able to receive?
Oh, I had my total fun with her being the torture queen. What fun it was with her.
Awesome. So anybody who doesn't know what distractor implants is, my question. Everybody knows it. Awesome. So does anybody of you use a distractor implant ever? Like these girls were using anger. Do you guys use any of it? Shame, guilt, regret, anger,
Yes.
business, love? Any particular distractor you guys wanted me to talk about?
Business,
Yay, awesome. I love it.
relationships.
Love also.
Love
Anger,
also.
anger,
Choose one first.
anger,
Yeah, Rohini, it's only you who can't hear. We all rest is clear.
anger.
Anger. Okay, let's start with anger because that's how it started, and let's go to that. So, anger, what is anger? Anger is a way of your body. I think yeah. Anger is something what our body tells us. Our body always gives us information. Like we give it from mouth. Our body tells, that's the way our body reacts. So what if anger is not yours, and what if the
यहाँ तो
body
लगे
is? Anjali, you'll have to mute yourself. Anjali, you have to mute yourself.
Rajkumar, you have to
Rajkumar,
mute
please mute.
everybody. Everybody is unmuted.
Thank you. Yeah. So anger is something, people have really, they use it as a completely distractor implant. So was I using until very few days back. I just realized that though this I have always been knowing that anger is when your body is reacting to something. So what if your body, the moment you get angry, is actually telling that the other person is angry? What if it, or if it's a potency? Sometimes it might be a potency, sometimes it's the other person's, and sometimes you're just distracting yourself from the certain topic because you do not want to answer that question, or you do not want to listen what the other person is saying. You put anger in place. So how many times you do that? That is when you're using it as a distractor. But the moment the body is telling you and getting that anger moment, you start reacting rather than being acknowledging right there and then, oh, I'm getting angry. That means the person opposite me is actually angry. So it's like a sudden reaction, immediate, the moment that somebody's like, how dare you do this, da, 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 and you like start right there and then, because you're like, oh, that is the moment that we never able to stop. And I wonder if you ever, but anybody in your families have ever said that, whenever you get angry, do counting from 10 to 1, or do ram ram, or do any other such stuff. It's basically to hold at that point and acknowledge your body, saying, hey body, what is it? Even if you don't say what it is that, what if you start today's, play with this the whole night and until tomorrow, whenever there is an anger around you, just see it is and perceive, is it even yours? Because when you're perceiving is always expansive, and it's about other person, it's never about you. So your body is sensing it and your body is feeling it, because the body is actually standing next to the other body. So there are three questions: is it a distractor, is it some potency, or is it that it's someone else? So every time you have this anger, be present with it, because anger sometimes is the biggest gift that you can have, and that is a potency also you have. Because under the anger there is shame, there's guilt, and under that layer comes love, and then comes the core problem where it is. So what core issues are you holding under that anger that you're not willing to acknowledge? So anybody who faces this anger moments, because we generally really get angry, and I think that is our first distractor that we always get stuck rather than moving to other distractors. So like what comes to business, what comes to love, what comes to separation, it's also because what is love? Because underlying love, is love true? Because love is again fitting into somebody else's reality, how the other person sees you, or how you want the other person to see you as. Even if the other person is loving you, how often do you receive that love? And what is under that? Is there the self-love for yourself? Are you even acknowledging you there? Are you angry with your own self, or are you angry with the world? Anybody saying that? Anything coming up for that?
Most of the so most of
Yes.
the time it's anger on myself at times, because then I would want to do something I know that would be contributive, but I would end up choosing something else. Those are
Yeah.
the moments when anger shows up, or
Yeah.
irritation towards self shows up.
Yeah. So, and how many times have you questioned that, Swami?
So I do. Does it belong to me? So at times I do send it back to the source with courses attached. At times it works, and there are times when it doesn't work. I mean,
So at those times, is it a distractor? Is it yours?
so that's when I check whether it's an awareness or is it something else. So, and that's where I do not get a clear picture of it. I have an idea of what in Access we are referring to as potency,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I still need.
So I'll give you an example of a potency. So like, sometimes, for example, my kid, if I have my son and I know that he requires a bashing up a little intense volume, I would give that, and he might regard that as anger. So I would scream on him that this needs to be done now. In his world, it's anger. In my world, it's the intensity I'm using. And that pulls him to that, oh, if I do not do that, my mom is going to hit me or is going to scold me or is going to really, really take my class. Right? So that's where sometimes it is required. And certain people, and most of the time, which is so funny that I've seen the people who are really, really angry, who really portray like that, are totally the opposite inside. But that they hold, and they hold that aura around them. And now, anytime I see a lot of people who, even in the government offices and various places, who are really, really acting strong, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sure this guy is gonna melt away in a minute. So it's like it's a sign that I use it to my advantage. So it's like, what can I say to this person at this moment to melt him or her away? And I very recently did this. It was in the hospital, and I was visiting my husband. So in the ICU, there was a doctor who was really strict. And he would look at me like this. And, did you not do that? Did you know that? And I would smile. Every time I would go, I would smile. Finally, he could not resist me. He was like, and then he was like, yeah, this is happening. Yeah, this is happening. And I remember one day I was not in the ICU, I was standing down, and I think he was going to go home, and he was coming with his bag, and I rushed towards him. People would not dare to come in front of him. I was like, so what's happening? What do you think? And he was so upset because he didn't want to say that something is not good. But I could sense his energy. But he was so soft to me. But he totally melted. So it's like when we are present with these energies, how well can you use? And then I inquired about him, that doctor, with everybody. They said, yeah, he's a very strict doctor. And I laughed. I was like, yeah, he's a very strict doctor. He says, but nah, with you, he always smiles. So what potency do we not acknowledge in ourselves of being aware? How aware are we already? And we can see these angers. If we get out of this space of distraction, like, okay, this is distraction, this is not good, this is not right, this is good, bad, ugly. If we actually take ourselves and step out of all these names, we probably get the whole idea that, oh, how can I use everything to our advantage? What if anger is not anger? What if love is not love? Then what would you know? Then how would you react? Then how would you be? And it's not also about, Swami, about access, that, how access uses the term. It is about you individually, everybody of you. Whenever that anger, whenever these love distractor comes, business distractor comes, shame, guilt, everything, we are hiding it here. Rather than actually, when we sit down, be with our own self, what is actually hitting me here? What is that I'm hiding away from myself? I mean, it's so funny that, we ourselves are actually hiding it from our own beings. We're not even willing to get it up and see ourselves what it is. We're looking, somebody will say some question, or somebody will say something, and we will have an awareness, and we'll, oh, then it'll open up. Rather than that is a meditation time for your own self, where you actually bring them. Probably you can hold one thing at one time. What does anger means to me? So like maybe today you guys can play, what does anger means to me? How does it look like to me? What if nobody has ever told me what anger is? Then how do I know? Because how I perceive anger would be very different than how you perceive anger. And some people might perceive that anger as more as an intensity. For somebody, that might be their tool to control the world. So what version of control are you using to everything you're choosing? Everything that is to destroy and unkit all, right and wrong, good and bad, pot, pop, and boys and beyond. Does that make you clear for me?
Right. So, but the example that you quoted was with regards to doing with others.
Yeah.
When you are in somebody else's company and there you are feeling this anger, then it can be a potency. However, when it comes to oneself,
so what are you angry about, you truth?
uh,
So what are you angry? Let's just go there. What are you angry about? That.
So it is about something that I have decided is going to be contributive, and I am not choosing that.
Exactly. So all the decisions are itself a judgment, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you let go those decisions now, what is that potency? What is that capacity that you think is limiting you? That you're muted. You're muted, Swami.
Yeah. So the scenario normally is, I know that I can function from choice. However, that has not worked for me in many areas, and that's where I feel that I need to have, I need to do this. There's a control, and then I can be more balanced and end up doing things that I should be doing. But there is always,
Wow. Could you see how much of a control I
yeah, control and choice.
need, control, and you've already forgiven choice away. Choice does not work for me. So at every step, what are you going to create? Every time you're going to make a choice, it's not going to work for you. That is when I again ask you to listen what you say.
Acha.
So there is an underlying point in your life. Whatever choice I'll make, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it will work for some time, and then again I will
Yeah.
go
So this
back.
is a point. Is this a point of view?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's a decision. So once you let that go, now what can I choose? Okay, if it's this choice is not working for me, okay, next and second, what choice can I make now? Okay, this will, what happens is we are not willing to make a choice so that we do not fail.
We do not fail.
We want to be foolproof. That's how we do it in business. That's how we do in everything.
Okay.
Last evening, I was on a call with Susan, and we were just discussing, and it was so amazing that she was like, I can be a writer, I can be a painter, I could have been anything, and she does so many things. And she's into the leadership program. She says, I left that, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. And I kept looking at her, and then she said, and then she started talking about the creation, and we were like, hey, what creation is all about? And we came to that, and suddenly I was like, okay, is joy the creation? She says, yes, joy is creation. I'm like, oh, that's simple. Joy is creation. So everywhere you find the joy. And what is receiving? When you do not have a point of view of how to receive. For example, if I have to reach from A to B, and I'm very, very excited to reach to the B point, look and will not get into the nitty gritty of how I'm reaching there. I just want to reach, and I will outcreate everything and reach there. That is when I just like follow my heart, and I just run towards it. So I'm receiving and perceiving and creating at the same time with that whole expansive space. But the moment we get these angers, and the moment we start thinking, the choice is not working, this is not working, that we are thinking. So it becomes contractive. So choice is like, and that's when I came to know, oh my God, abundance is of the joy we truly be. And we have concluded in this reality, money, business, these all are the things. If we will not have that, we are not performing. And that like totally changed my perspective last night. And I was been asking this question for a while: what does abundance look like? What is the magnanimity that I'm not acknowledging? What is the abundance that I'm not acknowledging? And I laughed and laughed after that. I said, oh my God, it's that simple. No wonder, when I put my head, it goes weird, because it's out of the whole joy, whole sense of joy I'm being. Even if I'm tasting it for a minute and I'm leaving it like a kid leaves, okay, fine. And, we made that wrong. Oh, no, we have to be consistent. We have to be doing this. We have to become so and so, we have to be doing that. So now to become an access facilitator, I have to do so and so. To do a business, to do a bar's business, I have to be so and so. These are just interesting point of view. How much are you not doing from your joy? How much are you doing from the form and structure already? So these are all distractors. So the moment your mind starts saying, okay, this is good, this is not good, that right there and then, and you're contracted and you're not joyful, you're finished. Distractor has already seeped in. So now you name it: blame, shame, guilt, hiding, business, anything you name there. But it's a whole bunch which helps you, and your mind keeps taking you round and round. And another thing which really came across what was few days back was, we are aware all the time. We say, oh, I would like to be more aware, I would like to be more aware, I would like to be more present. It's funny, we are always aware. Our distractions start saying, We are this much aware, we are that much aware, that person is more aware than I. So what is that? Mind is again a distractor. So mind will get these topics out in anger, money, business, shame, regret, guilt. These are death. Everything becomes a distraction in your life. In this very moment, are you present? So it's so, and I would share something from my life recently. It's like I was in the hospitals and I was living every moment from moment to moment in my life. And I was discussing that with a friend yesterday. And I was like, I was living in now. In this very moment, this person is here. I'm not going into the future of like, will this person be there or not? Will this thing let the person be available in next 10 seconds or not? In this moment, he's here. I'm participating. I'm enjoying. I'm living. And then I was sitting alone and I was like, wow, I did not actually go through a rough time at all. And like, how was that? Though I have been going through with it for last 4 months, but then I was at the same time so present with every moment that I lived in now, and I was never into a conclusion what will happen in the next second. So that did not make me feel it so heavy, did not make me suffer all through that journey of 4 months. Yes.
Isn't this energy of engaging rather than involving? Like
Yeah.
when you are staying with that person is like for 10 seconds say I'm here, I
Yeah.
am not worried about whether I'll be there with that person for after 1 month. It's
Mm.
like engaging with the person rather than involving with that person.
Exactly. So when we get involved, that's when the
Thank you.
distractors get in. I should be doing this. I must be doing this. This is how I'm supposed to be doing this. That is what kills. So in this
This
very
was the question
moment,
in my world.
wow, that's a great question. So in this very moment, who out of you do not have money? Who out of you is not, whatever the issue you guys are saying is a problem in your life? Is there a problem? In this very moment, is there a problem? Anybody?
No.
So what are you bothered about? Where is the distractors coming
Obviously,
for?
the future.
Yeah, so everywhere that is, can you let that go?
Yes.
Write it down, good and bad, pot talk, unless you're buzzing in. That's where you have to be so present. Live in now. In this 10 seconds, I have everything. Okay, in this 10 seconds, now do I have it? Now do I have it? So if you start being here and being present, I don't think at any given point of time you would go through any disharmony or uncomfortableness, even if it is, and it's like an interesting point of view.
Okay, so when we say that we ask, so that's for the future, right?
The ask is always future. What if you don't have to ask? What if you start enjoying it?
No, but when we say ask and you receive, so what
Yeah.
is that then?
So ask is like, it's like, wow, I love it. It's like that whole joyful energy, like how kids says, Mama, can I have this? It's
For the
just
moment.
for the moment. Can I just
Okay.
have this toy? Can I play with this energy? And I mean, have you noticed how kid asks stuff from
Ah,
you?
yeah.
That's the ask. And it's a very innocent ask. It's not like loaded that I have to have it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, nahi de rahe ho, mama tapad maar ke bhej rahi hai,
No,
it's
but
okay.
kids also ask for the moment only. They don't ask for the
Yes,
future.
they just live in the moment.
Yeah.
And they're okay, nahi de rahe. And 10 seconds later, they'll come again. Can I have it, please?
Yeah.
They never give up. And they are in the moment. And and that is total joy of living. Even, you see them around deaths, you see them around joyful, every minute they are the same. For them, they are actually functioning from that space of innocence, of total joy and pleasure. So when they're being joy, they're already creating. We think creation is, and that's how we put our business, as Swami wanted to talk about business. Our business becomes a distractor is because we are like, oh, business requires this, requires this. We have already concluded, rather than asking the consciousness of the business to contribute to you. Okay, I'm doing out of the joy of it. So the moment you give up your joy, you're there with the distraction. Dulani, thank you.
Hi, Aradhna.
Hi.
Anita here. Can I ask you something, please?
Yes. Where are you? Can I see you? Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Hello. Good. Tell me.
Yeah. Thanks for that awareness. We mentally get at what you said. perfectly, being in the moment and then perceiving that so that these distractor implants don't overpower you.
Mm-hmm.
But often the moment you slip, you know,
Mm-hmm.
those things again come back,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start going into all this
Mm-hmm.
blame, shame, guilt,
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, how to be totally present in the now when you
So,
have, all these things running in the background.
so that is when I'm saying that you have to write there and then, and first acknowledge yourself that you've actually you've been present, that you have gone back into the whole thing. That is already being present. That is already being aware. Okay, so acknowledge that, and then not beating yourself that why the hell did I go into it. Okay, I make another choice. I will be more present now. So it's like it's a practice. It's a muscle, and it's
Yeah.
like who's talking to you? It's your head talking to you all the time. So head is what? Distractor. Mind is what? Distractor. Because we are 100% aware anyways. Just hold on. Aware all the time. Remember this. So the moment we are into that whole fight mode, or in the depression, or into the crying zone, we are distracting. We are distracting. So, like with me, with my experience, the moment I am getting into that whole dump of the distraction, I have tears, I have everything flowing, and 2 minutes later, hey, I'm distracting. In this moment, what is it? Be here. And then I'm suddenly smiling and laughing. Is this a choice which I am making, that it is not that I have to cry or not cry or sad or upset or whatever. It's like, hey, I want to make every moment the best. I have
So
to.
what about the deep rooted distractor implants like fear and anger, which is like
So let
inside
them
your
come up, ask them to
okay.
come up, show up, because you're holding them more deeper because you don't want to see them.
Hmm.
So what if you can acknowledge them that, okay, I am deep down all the anger or all the distractors. What gift are they being to you that you're not acknowledging? Because that is behind what you're hiding.
Okay.
You're just hiding behind all your distractors. For what reason? And let them come up, let them show up. They're not greater than you. Don't make them bigger and greater than you.
Okay.
And that's when that is how being present. I totally get Anita's question that how to be present, because it's easy to said than done. But yes, but then we have to make a choice, shut our eyes and say, okay, whatever. It's like, कैसे रास्ता दिखेगा मुझे नहीं पता, बट मुझे ये जाना ही जाना है, यहाँ पहुंचना ही पहुंचना है. So Anita, for your example, I know what's your favorite thing. Is the jewelry your favorite thing? What is your traveling your favorite thing? What is it? Anita, what is it for you?
Uh, when you asked me, I just lost.
So is it jewelry? Is it travel? Truth. Jewelry, travel, truth.
Probably accumulating knowledge.
Okay. So for that knowledge, you would pick up that book and read throughout. Even if somebody says this has this awareness, would you go through that book and get that book anyhow?
Sometimes yes, sometimes it keeps shifting. The
Yeah.
moment I get,
So
okay, so
ho gaya. So once you really, really need to get it. So if that is the excitement and that is a level of choice you're making to have it, that information, howsoever, you do not get into the dumps in between. You just like follow your heart and you just go and get that information, right? That time you don't see कि क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है, right? So exactly the same place. I have to make this choice to be present. And whenever my head cuts it, I'm not beating myself. Okay, fine. I did get into it again. Fine, interesting. And next time, was it even mine? So yesterday I was sitting, and these little tools which I've been using for last 5 years now, more than 5 years of access. Also, like, who does it belong to? And I was just sitting and I was like, who does it belong to? It was, I kept going slowly. I keep playing like this, in my empty. I'm like, okay, who does it belong to? This is such a weird, different whole energy. Oh, who does it belong to? So everything, who does it belong to? It was suddenly, why don't I ask this question all the time? I was like, oh, Gary has been telling me for 3 months, like, okay, who does? So any information, who does it belong to? And only what is more joyful and fun will not be even questioned by me, and I'll be enjoying and having fun. So the moment I'm not having fun, who does it belong to? And it goes. So that was one, and ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. So today, when I was in the government offices, I was doing all of life. I was just sitting in my head, and I was, all of life comes to ease, joy, and glory. Okay, these elementals are joining in. Hey guys, mute, 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 mute. So this whole energy was like I could see elementals, I could see beings of light all interacting like this, and the whole space was so beautiful. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm sitting in a court. It doesn't look like I'm sitting in a court. It's like such a space. It's beautiful. So you have to explore it within yourself rather than like automatic ho jaye. How you have to, like, if you had to learn sentences or words, you had to grasp A, B, C, D, and how many times you had to repeat it to learn it.
Can
So
I share something? Can I
yeah,
share something?
yeah,
When you said this, who does this belong to? It
yeah,
reminded me of when you have the energy of anger, and then at that point of time when you're acting, you are connecting to the anger of the whole planet, and then you become, powerless because you are engulfed by that. The moment you ask this question, as you rightly said, who does this belong to? You know, the anger dissipates away,
yeah,
and then you find beautifully that you are in your space.
yeah.
And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Because that's a space, that's a space who we be. And we are just holding because we are not ready to be alone. So yesterday I was sitting, and from last 2-3 days I was really in the evening getting down and low, and I was like, shit, I'm so alone. Suddenly I'm feeling that whole loneliness, that whole energy of my husband not being around. I'm like, excuse me. And yesterday I was like, okay, who does it belong to? Who is? And I kept doing this and I kept doing this, and suddenly I realized, oh, everybody is also projecting that at me. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, here go, here go, here go. And suddenly I was so joyful. I said, is this getting me joy? Is this getting me joy? And everything I was doing, I was playing, I was eating, is this giving me joy? Okay, is this giving me joy? And suddenly the energies were, I was laughing and giggling on my own in the room. I was like, oh, I love that. I'll have more of it. This is now here. And then in the morning, I just read somewhere that people who die at 25, we keep them alive till 75. I was like, shit, I'm not going to do that. Somebody who's gone is gone. I'm here in this very moment. And what gift is that? I'm not going to die myself. I'm here, present. And how can I use all the energies to my advantage? So it's just you're different. It's how you want to use it, how you want to distract yourself. I can go down using and crying about it, or I'm like, hello, how can I use it to my advantage? That was anybody else's choice. And how can I acknowledge and pamper other person's choice and then make my choice?
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Welcome.
much.
Thank you. Any other questions coming up?
Aradhana, is fear always potency?
Fear is the biggest distractor. Fear does not even exist. It's a lie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a pure lie.
Uh-huh.
So give me an example where you were actually fearing, and then what happened?
When I wanted to do the talk to the entities class, I was like fearing to another level. So I remember my facilitator saying, she's a potent bitch.
Uh-huh.
Fear, she behind fear lies the potency. So I wanted to know, is all fear a potency or nothing
So
like that?
what do you know? There you go.
Okay.
Fear is just because fear is a lie. It doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
So it is a potency, right? So you do not want to be seen certain manner. That is when it is. Yeah. So you do not want to be seen certain aspect. You don't want to be seen as a bitch. You don't want to be seen as a cruel woman. You should not. I mean, you want to be seen as a sweet girl or a
Yeah.
sweet lady.
Yeah.
There you go. So you have a point of view on it of not to be certain because you are judging the world accordingly. So are you judging you? Right? So that is only the fear of being seen.
Fear के कोई बोले ना मुझे कुछ like
पर
wrong.
ऐसा तो होता नहीं, और वो सब कुछ हो रहा होता है और लोग वही देख रहे होते हैं जो आप छुपा रहे होते
I know exactly.
हो. So what
Yeah,
if you are willing to be seen as how you be?
yeah. Sometimes you're just pleasing people.
Yeah,
So
you're pleasing to be pleased. डर के आगे जीत है. मिरेंडा की ad बहुत अच्छी है.
So,
So,
regarding this fear, I feel it's just a point of view because yesterday night, I think after 2 decades, I was watching a horror movie. I never watch horror movies just because, yeah, for whatever reason. And
no,
yesterday
what
I was
was that? Swami, what was that reason? I would like to
yeah,
know.
because unnecessarily उनके why to take up for example मूवी में दिखाते कि अंधेरा है तो something कुछ आवाज आएगा तो भूत होगा. अब real when in reality when I'm actually in a darkness and I would unnecessarily think of that reference point from the movie instead of
Yeah,
just being present.
true.
So and for a couple of other scientific reasons I avoided watching them. And yesterday my wife Mansi was saying कि देख लेते हैं, this three movie is not really horror movie but it has a tinge of comedy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time after 2 decades, I watched that movie and there was no fear there. And we were constantly, I mean, she was constantly checking with
Yeah.
me whether, I'm okay because I am particular about watching such stuff.
I will share her. I was into media earlier, and I used to do into the productions and how the movies are produced and or the serials are produced and how they're edited and stuff. And when I started this, my first serial, and I used to be in all the shoots and then how the editing was done in Bombay, and I used to sit through. I'm like, oh, ये तो जब shoot होता था वो बहुत different जरा सा एक scene shoot हुआ, और जब वो add करते थे इधर से scene तो वो एकदम भयानक बन जाता था. I'm like, bullshit. This is not happening. I stopped watching television. I'm like, such a fake world. It's like even जो उड़ रहे हैं वो हो रहे हैं वो कैसे scene उड़ा रहे हैं. So to get away with your fears, but especially with these things, you should go watch how movies or these horror serials are produced, and you would not have, you would in fact laugh on it.
हॉरर मूवीज पे काम करना सबसे ज्यादा फनी होता है.
See, here he goes. He's into, yes, he's total fun. It is how you will see how they've been made. You will not stop laughing, and how much fear they induce in you is not funny, right?
Yeah.
It's just a point of view, just the energy you're giving.
So true.
Guys, show up your faces. I don't like gray screen.
In fact, thanks to Shannon for bringing up this entire talk to entities stuff.
Yeah,
Because after doing that, the entire so I feel all of this. I mean, the distractor implant. Everything has just another point of view.
Yeah, totally.
Making them,
The best part of, I don't know how many people here are afraid of entities.
I was.
I will share that example from a personal
I
life.
am.
Monish. So, I always had this question that what was it that I always did entities before even access facilitator. I was very excited and very curious to see hota kya entity. I never came across what entity is, but I can sense the energies and I'm very comfortable. And in fact, this time Shannon was saying in Bombay class, she says every time I was sitting Max that when Aradhana comes to entities class, her smile is very different. She's very joyful about. She's like really herself. And I was like, and I was in my heart, I was like, मैं भूत नहीं हूँ क्या? So I just said it to my own self, and I was like, I just left it there. But now with my husband passing over, it was, oh my God, this is the most beautiful gift I have ever experienced in my life. Because I speak less and he speaks more. It's like ना तो Wi-Fi connection तब भी नहीं था जब यहाँ पर थे. It's like cutter he's talking. I'm so connected to him. I don't feel, I mean, of course I feel the physical presence, but he's all the time with me.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm like, people must do this, yeah. It's like such a gift. I am so joyful every time nothing comes up. कोई काम नहीं होता, like देखो कहा था ना अभी जल्दी नहीं थी जाने की, and then you're कर रहा हूँ, it's okay, it'll be done. So I'll give you, it's such an amazing example I had. I think I'm distracting you from the group, but I will give you because I would love you
No,
guys
no,
to
we
give
would
this.
love to hear this.
Yeah. So he was in the hospital, and I remember some payment had to be done, and I was telling him, I said, can you just pay and tell me how to? I'm very bad with talking about that, anyways, that with the money thing. So I told him, I said, hey, I do not know how to do this. So tell me how to do it before, anything goes wrong. He says, forget it, I'll come and do it. I say, I don't think you'll coming home. He says, I'm not dying. I said, I'm just saying, I don't think you're coming home. So let me know before you fucking die. So he's like, if I do not come, then you do this. I said, okay, fine. And a few days later, whatever, whole substance happened and he passed over and all. Like, then I was sitting and I was with my girl and I was like, oh shit, ये payment जाना था. कहा था? And I was like, shit, कहा था मैंने? And I was like, देखा, कहा था ना कि you didn't do it. अब क्या करूँ? अब कहाँ से कैसे डालना मुझे आता नहीं है. And I was trying my best. This हो जाएगा. मजा करो, all will be done. पता नहीं कहाँ से हो जाएगा, in my whole world. And an hour later or something, the lunch I was sitting and my uncle calls up and he's like, send me your account number. I said, why? He said, no, just send me. Don't ask me bullshit right now. Just send me account number. I just sent the same account number somehow. And I didn't ask what he's transferring in the evening. He calls me. He's like, go check just check, has it come to your account? I was shocked. Same amount. But I had to pay and it was in the same account. And I'm showing it to my son. I said, see? And he also looks at me. I said, काम कर रहे? I said, हाँ करो. Okay, done. All set. It was done. And everything I really am asking for, it's like, कर रहा हूँ. So how much awareness are you, kind of avoiding by not learning these entity work? It's just not, I'm not saying
Wow.
believe into it or I have not been believing, I have not been using them but I'm totally having fun with it. Yeah. So everything that brought up, can we destroy and unkid now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot, boys and beyonds. So how much more fun can you have? Learning to talk to entities. It's just, for the first time, I'm sending hugs and kisses to Shannon. Thank you, Shannon. I love you. I always told Shannon I love you. That is how it is. So everything that you think that you should not, or you're scared of, you're not, is there. That's a potential you are holding behind. There is where the whole joy is. That is where the whole fun is, which you're holding yourself back with. Fun life, just move ahead of those distractions and play with it. The whole idea of holding yourself, of not playing with them, is where you are actually losing on. That's my advice. Rest is up to you guys. Are dragons entities? What do you know, Lena? Everything is an entity, everything. Even your thought, even your book, anything you can find has anytime anything has a consciousness of its own, is an entity. So even a thought, even a procedure, even a class that you create becomes an entity of its own. So and the moment you perceive that there's a consciousness of this class has already built, you can talk to it and give work to it.
Okay.
Like even dragons, okay, if you sense them, okay, hey guys, can you contribute to me?
Okay.
It's the energy you put. So everything is energy, everything is the space, and we solidify the molecules and we name them. So I name that Lena, I name that Aradhna, or I name that Priyanka, Rohini, anything for that matter. And that it takes its own consciousness. I name that as a book, I name that as a phone, will have its own energy there and will have its own shape and form. That's it. So what can you create just by magic? What can you create just by magic that you're not acknowledging? Everything that brings us to the destroy and unkit, all right and wrong, within bad pot, pock, and beyond. Also, magic at times become a distractor because you're waiting for a magic to happen rather than creating it. And everything that fried you, can you destroy and unkit, all right and wrong, good and bad pot, pock, and beyond. What have you defined magic and miracles are? that they are not. So when my husband passed off, I was so upset that day. I shouted, like, fuck off with the magic and miracles. I'm the one who always talks about magic and miracles. I would not talk about it anymore, ever. This is not magic. This is fucking not miracle. This is not happening. And I was in my head constantly back. I was hearing the noise. What if this is a miracle? What if this is a miracle? And I'm like, bullshit. This is no miracle. This is, And over the 2 days span, 3 days span, by the time we did all his ceremonies, he made me, that's a story for another day, but he made me realize magics and miracles, that it was a magic and it was a miracle, and how I have been asking, and what else can I ask for now? That's when I retrieved into the magics and miracles again. I'm like, hey, everything is a magic and miracle. What have we defined magic and miracle as? Wherever we define to live is only magic, to die is not magic. Can we destroy and unkid that? Right and wrong within that potluck called nature, boys and beyonds. Awesome. Any questions coming up? I think I'm talking too much. Any questions? Any distractors coming up like this?
How come conclusion is not a distractor implant?
Is it not? Conclusion only leads you to distractions, no?
Yeah, so I'm just becoming aware. Most of the time that I do is conclusion, or that I see people doing is conclusion, which actually is taking us away from what actually is possible. So how come that is not a part of distractor plan? I'm just wondering.
No, so it's not a part of it. Distractors is like, what we actually, conclusion, nobody acknowledges it. Due to these distractors, we conclude. So these distractors make us conclude things. So conclusion is this byproduct of the distractor. Yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm angry. So we have concluded I am angry rather than what is this? So, simple tools. What is this? Who does it belong to? If you actually bifurcate it, we think we've learned the tools. Oh my God, they're gifting all the time. And little. Like, who does it belong to? Interesting point of view. And what is it? From the total space. What gift is in it? These, thank you. It just shifts everything. The gratitude is the biggest key to keep you up and about. And I know, now nobody here can say, it is so difficult. I have been through I think I've learned enough that I can tell you guys this works. Even in the most, what we can say, the situations, I kept using the tools. I was working on them. I was completely into tools, and I'm so grateful. I had all the tools all the time. They were constantly in my head. And that was expanding my world. I was like still smiling. I was still being there, and I was in total allowance, allowed choices, distractors coming up and down. I'm like, hey guys, move away, not here. And then also was an allowance of me into the distraction that time. Because I had to experience that drama also, no? Of losing somebody, of being with somebody. It just is. Life just is. And I was laughing with her. I said, okay, now you've given me a chance to be having another boyfriend. Good for me in a new life. And we were like, laugh. It is like, you won't imagine. I wish I had recorded how I was talking to when he was in the ICU, even on the ventilator. I kept fighting and not being naughty with him, being, all the shit I could have said. I'm like, I will not hold anything back. Don't, use me for your advantage. And right now I'm going to use, I said, this is all manipulation. Huh? I'm not coming under this manipulation. And it was like, I think this girl will never stop. But yeah, I enjoyed my journey, and he enjoyed his, and I think we both beautifully are sharing what we are sharing. And how much has he taught? He always used to say, I'll teach you more than Gary and Dane. Yeah, he's done so. And what else is possible? Yeah. Thank you. Any more questions coming up?
Yeah. I may just want to ask you. So have you been there? I'm right now in a space where I have just come into access some couple of months before, and phenomenal awareness, lot of things happening. And I was so much passionate and excited about sharing this knowledge. And then there came a phase, I think just 1 month before, where there was not too much excitement around things.
Yeah.
There was not too much excitement around sharing the tools.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, what is it? I did ask a couple of questions around this. Then I thought
it belong to?
Yeah.
Who does it belong to? Truth. Is it yours? Okay, there's this bee here. Is it yours? I know a lot of people here going on through. I also go through those phases until even now. And then I've been that. I'm like, okay, I do not want to be with that. Like these days it was happening. My son has been like, Mom, now where are you flying off to? I said, I don't want to do any classes right now. No class. He's like looking at me. I'm like, I don't want to do any class right now. Doesn't mean I don't like the tools, doesn't mean I'm not using the tools. I am being. And what if that is my retrieving period? What if it's just that I'm actually changing within me, and all the tools I've been using, that they're just getting into action and making more space to it? What if it's not either or, that it doesn't mean I've given up access, it doesn't mean I'm not going to do access. There's no conclusion to it. What is this? What space is this? What if this is a space required for that change? Like, what we say, in winters the jungle is quiet. It's just, it doesn't mean it's dead. It's just going through the phase and have that own vision, and then it'll flower again. Nothing is wrong, nothing is right ever. And it is, and it's a very weird, it's so funny also. Another thing I really want to share here, because a lot of people here have a point of view, even the access people have a point of view that it's an access language. So I've been conversing with a lot of medical doctors because of all this. And of course, they become my fans. So that is a different thing altogether. But when I'm messaging them everything in access language. As per se, we guys know this is called access language. But I've been mentioning everything as from how I be and how I talk. And that person is like, those guys are getting blown out. It's like, and they don't know what I do. They just think I'm a luxury housewife who's sitting at home and doing them. Like, okay, I don't have to be and show them who I be. And I don't have to tell them. And I just realized that sometimes my telling them also is, blocking them to have information from me. So I portrayed a general regular housewife who just lost a husband and how I see life as. And they're like, wow, that's amazing. And for them having that question, they're like, how much questions do you ask? I said, yeah, I just love asking questions. And what gift are you being? And they're like, yeah, you are a way apart. We've never heard these kind of things. And I'm laughing. How much being sitting at home can you change somebody's world, and not, we don't have to tell them who I be, what I be, because we get fixed up in those parameters that who I be, and I'm just kind of a facilitator, I'm so and so and so and so. What if nothing? What you running away? What simply sitting at home as a regular person, that impacts the world more. Because these days too much of education is also like, oh, too much of information. So be present. So I was being present with that, and I'm like, okay, how can I make the shift here? So there was that person never returned and told me that is why you're using this access language. And I was like, I have to tell it to all my access friends. See, it doesn't matter. It's in your head. So there's nothing called, give up that point of view called access language. Just be. If you are being it, then nobody has that doubt in it. And that again is a distractor, because we have concluded in our head that, okay, I am using an access language. When you heard it for the first time, you also came for the first time in access. How did you come? Did you know it was an access language? No, he said, "Pata nahi kya bol rahe, but samajh nahi aa raha, but hai bahut interesting." It did invite you, right? So don't forget that space. Don't doubt. Doubt is another bigger distractor. When you doubt, you're done and you kill yourself and you're knowing. So today, be with whatever your favorite distractor is. Play with it and see what does actually that looks like in your world. If you had no information from A to B from while you were born, what do you know about that distractor implant? Because that would be a lot of information for all of us on this platform. to share and to know about each other. And so maybe we can use that to our advantage. So that's your home play. Everybody who would love to contribute here, I would love to listen. That what do you know about that distractor? And do you know about love?
Wow.
And also this whole, the moment we say it's a problem, we are already putting an apple sign, lack. There's a lack. So if it was not a problem, then what is it? If it was a possibility, then what is it? If anger was not a problem, what possibility is it? If love was not a problem, what possibility is it? So changing your problems to possibility today, and your favorite distractor, whether it's business, whether it's love, whether it's death, whether whatever it is, see it, ask that question. Please write it down if you can. It really, really makes a difference. Just a minute it'll take. If not, then write it in your head and please share tomorrow. I would be happy to listen and then work more from there. And after these 3 calls, if anybody of you has a distractor, I'm going to come and kill you right there and then. Ask me as much as about distractors, but I think this is not happening anymore. It's time for change. Because you're such potent beings sitting here. You're not going to use our energies just cleaning the distractors anymore after these 3 days. Yes? Yes? Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So any more last questions? Any more last? And thank you, everybody of you who had been messaging me, being there for me, praying for him, for me, and see, whatever, no, nothing is wrong and nothing is right. Everything has shown up very differently and with ease, with all your prayers. So we always think that, I did that, and this same result did not come. What if this creates more and greater? So I'm very, 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 very grateful to each one of you. I know everybody has been messaging in their own ways, praying in their own ways, contributing in their own ways. And how did I get so lucky to have you all as my back, praying, keeping in touch, loving? And I could not answer you guys. I was like, I can't right now, but whatever I could. And I was receiving at every point. Thank you. And a big, big hug to all of you.
Thank you, Radna.
Thank you.
Big hug to you, Aradhna.
Very big hug to you, Aradhna. Huge hug.
Yeah. See, life has different ways to move on.
Thank you, Aradhna.
Thank you, Aradhna.
Thank you.
Lots of love and hugs.
Thank
you, Aradhna.
Love you.
Hope nobody is getting jealous here of me getting so many hugs.
Yeah.
No distractors.
No.
Awesome. I think so. Let's end up.
So inspired by you, Aradhana.
Thank you. No, I think honestly, this whole courage, this being that strong, being so present is gift of you, all of you doing, and the whole world working. And even like, how you want to perceive it, you might say, oh, like, there were a lot of people who said, oh, you've been doing Access, nothing came up. You couldn't save your husband, and what happened to your Access tools? What happened to all that, blah, blah, blah. And I kept looking, I was like, because I got the freedom. Everybody was like, can you keep your mouth shut? What do you talk? Do you even know how people perceive us? I said, that's a very interesting point of view. I said, what if it is different? What if the person was making choice has been made it with ease, and whatever I am moving on is with ease, and everything is not wrong and right. And I would love to really say this, that, we go through a lot of ailments, a lot of diseases, and everybody chooses to have those ailments and diseases. And our doing body processes sometimes is actually relieving them to go to a different level. It is not sometimes that the disease will be healed or that whole thing will be healed, but how the person deals with it will be very different. How a person shows up in the world with the same thing is very different. Like if what my husband was going through, not at any given single point of time, anybody could ever make that it was so serious. It was, I mean, he was dealing it with so beautifully, and so was I, so were we all as a family. There was no drama around it. It was just what it was. So it's the quality time we spent, the quality we both had with each other, that what matters. But at the same time, I could have been the worst situation if I didn't have those tools, I didn't have those processes. I would have been crying, howling. I would have been living as what a poor widow, pathetic reality this shows one should be like. It's so different. And also many other friends of ours who are access and non-access I've seen going through this are dealing their life very differently than what regular people are dealing it with. So it's not that you're not able to do it, you are actually contributing every moment for them to make different choices which would have been difficult otherwise. So do not ever get into that shit that because that person does not change that disease, so you were not good enough. That's the person's choice. Be in allowance of it, and how beautifully can you be with it. That is the gift you be. Sometimes even in the ICUs and stuff, I didn't want to run the process on him at all, but my presence was, I knew already is making a change. And it was not only, and he was also kind of contributing, and he was also taking a lot of other people's stuff and changing and shifting it through his body. So what miracles was he that I haven't acknowledged, or what miracle was he already being in that space? For different doctors, how many people we got in contact with, there was different energy altogether. So nothing ever goes waste. But yet at the same time, nobody changes. Only you can change yourself. We put so much of energy in changing people. Stop. STOP there, stop. They will not change. You are really putting and making that choice wrong all through. And it makes no sense. Start looking in rather than looking at changing others. And you will learn your own way, irrespective of whatever I'll teach you. I'll give you my the stick, but I would definitely create a class or a call one day on this, what I went through, and I mean all my experiences. So much there in it, and if anybody would grab it, it's up to you. I would love to share that because he really has given me loads of it. And what else is possible? So just be you, just change yourself, be constant, and don't even change, and just enjoy you. That's what I would say. Don't get into कि मैंने ये tool नहीं use किया, वो नहीं किया, ये नहीं किया. Stop cribbing about yourself. Live it in now. Whatever you're doing is the best. You don't have to put here. When you're doing too many tools, also you're thinking too much. So stop thinking, start enjoying, have a blast, and let's meet tomorrow.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.
See you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Raj,
Beyond words.
thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.